What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming. We're going to do a little bit of a different video today. The Video Game Awards nominees have finally just been announced, so I'm going to take a look through all the categories, talk a little bit about them, decide who I think would win and whatever. Now, before we go any further, I haven't actually seen this list. I saw that the list was available. I opened it up and instantly minimized it at the top of the screen, so I don't know what's coming. I don't even know the categories or what's in them, short of the very first one, because I couldn't help but seeing it. Other than that, if you're not sure what the Video Game Awards actually is, it's a complete and utter shill show. It is literally a paid advertisement beyond the likes of what E3. E3 is actually every individual manufacturer coming out showing what they have. The Video Game Awards are actually a 100% commercial, believe it or not. So that's why it's generally not too, what the awards actually are don't really weigh too heavily. Especially considering that it's done by our boy, Jeff, aka Doritosgate, Keeley. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But anyway, on we go. So at the very start, we have our first one, Game of the Year. So obviously I could see the 5 of these from the top. So Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn. Actually, is there any more? No. Okay, so out of these 5, to be honest, I'm very conflicted because 3 of these games are actually on my top 3 list for best game of 2017. Keep an eye out for that video coming in the next couple of weeks. But to be honest, I see one of the other games in here as well. Like, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is obviously a big deal. Super Mario Odyssey is obviously a big deal. Legend of Zelda basically revolutionized Zelda, and it's the next big step in Zelda games since Ocarina of Time, which is pretty huge, to be honest. Super Mario Odyssey, again, it's the same deal. It basically revolutionized the Mario genre. I won't say revolution, it's the next big step in Mario. It feels like the first proper improvement and evolution of Mario we've seen in over 10 years, since arguably the GameCube. Some people will say what's it called? Shit, I forget the name. Some people would say Super Mario Galaxy, but I feel like this is a bigger step and a bigger jump from the previous. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I can understand why it's on here slightly. It's one of those games that because it's such a basic concept, but it's just so popular and become a cultural phenomenon, like say, League of Legends and all that crap. It's why it's on. It's the same with Overwatch, for example. Overwatch should really not have been considered for a Game of the Year because it took an already existing concept, didn't do much to it, and that, it just became really popular. So, whatever. Persona 5. I've spoken multiple times about Persona 5 and why I think Persona 5 should be on this list, and it is. Horizon Zero Dawn, again, it's probably the biggest first-party Sony game made this year, as well as has a shitload of praise, a shitload of critical acclaim, and it's apparently just a very good game. Haven't played it myself, not interested in how it looks, so whatever. Personally, I think Zelda or Mario will win this. Personally, I am not going to give my opinion of what I would vote for. For the simple reason is that will give away what is it called? I'm freaking out here. That will give away my video that you can check out in the next couple of weeks of what will be my 2017 Game of the Year. So best game direction. Okay, so there's still only 5. I think might only be 5 per category, so I think I can stop skipping down. And best game direction, awarded to a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Now, I'm looking at all the games here. We've got Wolfenstein 2, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn. So let's look at what it is. It's a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Wolfenstein 2 does not deserve this whatsoever. Resident Evil 7 does not deserve this whatsoever. They're both good games, but neither of them deserve, based on that explanation on what is the game direction. No. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, maybe. Mario Odyssey, maybe, but maybe to a slightly lower degree. Horizon Zero Dawn, again, I hear a lot about it. I can't really say too much because I haven't played it. But from everything that I understand, I could see either Breath of the Wild or Horizon Zero Dawn deserving this. But I could also see Super Mario Odyssey potentially winning this because it's a Mario game. We'll have to see. I'm going to go... Let's see, let me give this a little bit of a weird one. I'm going to say that Zelda has a 50% shot of winning this one. Horizon Zero Dawn has maybe a 30% shot of winning this one. And Mario Odyssey, I think, has a 20% shot of winning this one. So best narrative, yeah, it's still 5. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. What Remains of Edith Finch, Nier Automata, I don't know why you Americans call it Nier Automata, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, Wolfenstein 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, What Remains of Edith Finch should not be on this list. It's one of those games that is praised because it's just a walking simulator, and a lot of the walking simulator games have very sparse narratives, including What Remains of Edith Finch. Nier Automata, I don't really know. I know a little bit about the story. I don't know how the narrative progresses along with it, so I can't really say much about that. But I've never really heard about Nier being praised for its narrative. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is the complete opposite. I hear that game has a great narrative, and it's basically the only thing in the game, because I hear the combat is pretty shite. So the fact that the game has such a strong narrative, as well as it's apparently really graphically gorgeous, apparently those are really the only two things it has going for it, and it does it really, really well. Wolfenstein 2, I think, has an okay narrative. I can kind of I can detract from the Wolfenstein 2 experience in general. I've finished the game, but as a narrative, no, I think it's like B-movie comedic gold almost, and it doesn't deserve to be winning an award of some sort for it. Horizon Zero Dawn, I think it's so hard to say because I haven't specifically played a big game such as Horizon and a well critically acclaimed and praised game as Horizon. So I do think this one is probably has a good shot of winning because I hear the actual narrative and story behind it are actually really good. Again, I haven't played it, but if I was to bet on what game would win best narrative based on this list, I would say either Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice or Horizon Zero Dawn. I'd say it's 50-50, maybe 60-40 in Horizon's favor. Let's move on to the next one. Well, this fucking sucks. I had a little bit of a camera issue there, which means I have to edit this video, which is going to be a pain in the arse. But anyway, let's continue on. Best Art Direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievements in artistic design and animation. So we've got 5 games on here too. Destiny 2, LOL, Cuphead, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn. So when it says Best Art Direction, I think this is a really hard one. So let's see. Destiny 2 is probably legitimately considered by many people for the simple reason is when you look at the actual concept art for Destiny and Destiny 2, the concept art itself is phenomenal. I won't deny that whatsoever. It's some like movie level concept art. But that doesn't translate into the game at all. Cuphead could possibly win it because it's unique. It's the as far as I know, it's the only 1930s inspired game out there. I mean, with the exception of maybe Mickey Mania on the Super Nintendo, which goes through the majority of a lot of the old Mickey Mouse stuff, including Steamboat Willie, which is the original Mickey Mouse cartoon, by the way. But the fact that it's such a unique style and it's done so well. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Again, this one is in artistic design and animation. I don't think Zelda deserves to win this. Persona 5. The game is style. It redefines the word style. It redefines the word personality. Persona. It redefines art and everything. Horizon Zero Dawn. Again, I've seen some of the concept art for this, and what they tried to do in it was not so much animation style, but more so the artistic design on it too. And again, it's some high quality, top level stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if Destiny 2 won this, or if Horizon Zero Dawn won this. For the simple reason is Horizon, it's done pretty well. I can't deny that. As well as it's a big first party game. So you're going to have a lot of the people who are only in the Sony camp voting for this kind of stuff. Destiny 2 reaches 3 different platforms, and it's generally considered to be a wider variety of game and a wider reaching game to the majority of people and the mass audience. So at the same time, I could see Destiny 2 winning this as well. To be honest, I'd say potentially Cuphead could win it. I don't think Breath of the Wild will win it. I don't think Persona 5 will win it. I would love to see Persona 5 win it. But I'd say it's probably 60-40 in Destiny's favor against Horizon Zero Dawn. So what have we got? Best score and music. Oh, this one actually has 6. Yeah, 6. Okay. So best score and music for outstanding music inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. Destiny 2, Cuphead, Nier, again, Nier Automata. I don't know why you Americans insist on calling it Nier Automata. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Persona 5. Now, here's how this one is going to be really, really strange. Destiny 2. Okay, Destiny 2 is going to have... I'm assuming I only played the beta for a few minutes. Well, for a few minutes. I played it for like 2 hours. But I'm assuming that Destiny 2 in general has a big orchestral, musical, massive, like blockbuster score. I mean, I would imagine that something you hear in Destiny could be placed into almost any generic action sci-fi film and it would fit right at home. Hell, you could probably swap out the Star Wars soundtrack with the Destiny 2 soundtrack and it would probably be relatively on the same level. Cuphead, again, is going to... It's unique in that sense, and we all know what that is. Nier, I have no idea about the soundtrack of Nier. Legend of Zelda... What's the best way to word this? I don't know what the... It's very fitting. It's one of those games that the music plays so subtly that it just feels and flows naturally. You're very rarely thinking, oh yeah, this song is amazing, because it's a very ambient song. Granted, there's some amazing songs in the game, and we all know the second when you're out exploring and you hear... someone's gonna fucking hate me for forgetting his name now. You hear the Falcon guy playing the accordion just in the middle of nowhere, just off. You're instantly looking for him just like that, and that's a big deal. Super Mario Odyssey, it's Super Mario, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's Super Mario. Of course, it's gonna have great music. Of course, it's gonna have top quality Mario music. It's gonna be oozing vibe and music. You'd almost call it like the Nintendo version of Persona 5. But you see what I mean anyway. I've played through the whole of Super Mario Odyssey, especially the special theme song and how they factor that into the game. It's really, really well done. But Persona 5 is the final game on this list, and I think Persona 5 should win it because every single song in that game has 127.94% attitude, vibe. It has absolutely everything, and every song in that game is perfect for what it's trying to do. Like there's games out there, including say Zelda, like I mentioned, that it just fits, but there's just fits very well and just fits naturally, and there's perfectly, and Persona 5 is perfectly. I think Persona 5 should win this, but I would, out of everyone here, I would expect Destiny 2 to actually win it. Okay, so we're back to 5 here. Best audio design. Recognizing the best in-game audio design and sound design. Destiny 2, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, Resident Evil 7, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Super Mario Odyssey. Again, this is something I could see Destiny 2 actually winning because of its huge, sheer, phenomenal amount of money put into the budget for sound, for audio, for absolutely everything. Of course, this is in-game audio and sound design, so this includes stuff like reloading, this includes stuff like the sound effects, all that shit. So, I think, out of all of these games, Destiny 2 would most likely win this. Because I've actually heard, I didn't really think anything in Breath of the Wild. I thought it got a little bit monotonous after a while. And when I was playing Super Mario Odyssey, some of the people on stream actually commented about how it felt like they reused a lot of the sound effects for different kinds of stuff, despite it being all in one game in Super Mario Odyssey. So, Resident Evil 7 didn't feel like anything special as well. And Senua's Sacrifice, I can't really talk about from that aspect of it. I'm pretty sure Destiny 2 is going to win this one. So, best performance awarded to an individual for voice acting, or for voice over acting, motion and or performance capture. Okay, so there's only 5 of them. Melina Jurgens, Hellblade, as Senua, so that's obviously Senua's Sacrifice, and she obviously plays the main character. I hear the performance in that game is very good because they needed it to be very, very convincing for the portrayal of her it wouldn't be emotional, her mental issues and the degradation as it went through. So that could potentially win it. Laura Bailey, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Laura Bailey is absolute bae, but I'm just saying. So again, I hear her performance as Nadine. I had to look down and see who she actually played. I don't play Uncharted, but I hear her performance for Uncharted has been really, really well received, and this goes hand in hand with the next one too. Claudia Black, Uncharted: Lost Legacy as Chloe Fraser. Claudia is Claudia. She's also bae, and she has a really, really, really sexy accent. So, again, I've seen her performance be massively praised in there too. So, it wouldn't surprise me if any of the three of those won it. But let's continue on. Brian Bloom, Wolfenstein 2 as BJ Blazkowicz. I'm gonna feel really bad saying this. Brian, if you ever see this video, I'm a fan. I don't like how you do BJ Blazkowicz. I think it's really, really silly, and the games almost feel B-movie-esque lately, in a good way. But no, just BJ in any of these games, BJ in the New Order, the Old Blood, and Wolfenstein 2, no. Ashley Birch, Horizon Zero Dawn. Ashley Birch is also bae, but she plays Aloy. I had to look at the name there again. The main character of Horizon Zero Dawn. One of the characters that has been praised this year is its portrayal and performance of a strong female protagonist. So obviously she must have done a really well designed job. That's not a best way to word. She obviously did a well done job with a very well designed character. That's what I meant to say. So I think out of all of these, Ashley will probably win it. I have only played one of the games that these 5 people are in, or at least for their specific nominations, which is Wolfenstein 2. No, that's all I can say. I still think Ashley will win this. Which, I'm sorry, by the way, Laura, I still love you, and Claudia, you too. So, games for impact. This one has 6. For a thought-provoking game with a profound pro-social meaning or message, please knock on my door. Night in the Woods, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Bury Me, My Love, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Excuse me. So, I'm not editing that out. Out of all of these games, I have heard about Night of the Woods in passing at most. That's about it. Please Knock on My Door, I've never heard of. Life is Strange Before the Storm, I have heard about, of course. It's the prequel to Life is Strange, a game which is very well received for Game for Impact. I still haven't played it. I have it installed with the intention of actually doing a playthrough of it at some point. But the fact that I haven't heard about some of these games, I haven't heard about Please Knock on My Door, I haven't heard about Bury Me, My Love at all. I've heard about Night of the Woods in passing. I've heard very little about Before the Storm for its emotional impact and its emotional investment and reasons versus the original, which was plastered all over the place. Maybe the fact that Life is Strange Before the Storm isn't finished yet. I don't think all the episodes are out. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. What Remains of Edith Finch? No. And Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, a game which I have heard an exceptional amount for its emotional involvement and its impactful message. I think Hellblade will win this game, hands down. Best ongoing game, this one also has 6. Awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Warframe, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto Online, Destiny 2, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. This is a really difficult one to choose because Warframe is one of the few first-person shooter games that's free to play that is still going strong and still pretty successful and recognized. A lot of the first-person shooter games that come out, even if they are free to play, some of them even aren't, and they just kind of fizzle out very quickly and fail. Warframe has kind of booked that trend. It's like when you look at all the games on this list, Warframe is the only free one. The rest of them are paid big budget games for the most part. So you see why I can see why it's actually in this list. Rainbow Six Siege, I'm going to completely write off. Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto Online, Destiny 2, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So this one is going to be very, very hard to call. I don't think Warframe will win it. as much as it's done, I don't think Warframe will win it. Remember, this poll is designed for your casual viewer and your casual consumer, because remember, this is the kind of thing that paid advertisements cater to completely, and it's not a legitimate award show really, but people will do what they do, you know. Overwatch, it's Overwatch. What needs to be said about it? I mean, it's the same game as last year with a little bit more added to it. So Overwatch was a big deal last year. It's still kind of a big deal now. And it's still evolving. Balance changes, new characters, new modes, new maps, whatever. It's a huge seller and a huge draw. GTA Online is GTA Online. It's like the most profitable game in history as far as I know at this point. And not just GTA 5 in general, but GTA Online, as far as I know, is more profitable than like anything else. It's made over $1 billion a year in just online alone in microtransactions. So yeah, it says what it is. Despite them actually adding very little to it, and me personally finding it not very enjoyable outside of heists. Destiny 2. No, no. Destiny 2 shouldn't be on this list at all, but it will be because it's casual as fuck. Just like this list is made for, and just like this entire award show is appealing to. And it's a big game. There's no denying that. It's big in the sense that it comes out on 3 platforms, has a shitload of hype and promotion and all that stuff, and everyone knows what Destiny 2 is, so whatever. And PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. This one I think has a good shot at winning. I think out of the 3 of these games, Overwatch, GTA Online, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds have the most likely... It's like a 3-way tie between winning these. Especially PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, because it's not a huge multi-million-dollar investment like Overwatch and GTA Online are. But it's become a cultural phenomenon, and that's why I think that's why I think it can be fit in with Overwatch and GTA Online. Best mobile game. Oh my god, really? Super Mario Run, Old Man's Journey, Monument Valley 2, Hidden Folks, which just looks like Where's Wally from this picture, and Fire Emblem Heroes, Shadows of Valentia. So, Super Mario Run is going to win this. I've never heard of Old Man's Journey. I've never heard of Monument Valley 2. I've never heard of Hidden Folks, but like I said, it just looks exactly like Where's Wally. And obviously I've heard of Fire Emblem Heroes, Shadows of Valentia, which I hear is a decent game. I haven't really tried it myself. I've put it this way. I've even tried Mario Run. I actually have had the trial version on my phone, and I played a trial version on a friend's iPad yonks ago before it came out on Android. But no, Mario Run is going to win this. Best handheld game for the best game playable on a dedicated portable gaming system. Notice there's no Switch games here. LOL. Anyway, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, Monster Hunter Stories, Metroid Samus Returns, Fire Emblem Echoes, and Ever Oasis. 5 3DS games. What about all them Vita games, Sony? Anyway, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World doesn't stand a chance. It's average kind of platformer, especially considering that some of them haven't been great when it comes to that series. Ever since Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island, fantastic. Everything else since, eh. Monster Hunter Stories. No, it's like a poor conversion of an RPG format. Not a terrible game, but they should have really stuck to Monster Hunter as we know it. Metroid Samus Returns. We'll come back to this one. Fire Emblem Echoes, a great remake, remaster, reimagining, whatever you want to describe it as, categorize it as. It's a great game. It's a Fire Emblem game, and they've improved it. They've brought it forward into the modern era and improved it with a lot of the old features intact, and improved it with new stuff along the way. Ever Oasis, I hear it's kind of flopped, to be honest. But they tried to promote it as the best non-Secret of Mana game, and apparently it's just not the case. So I think Metroid is going to win this one, hands down. I'd say possibly Fire Emblem Echoes, but I would say like 80-20 Metroid versus Fire Emblem. Metroid is fantastic. I've played the shit out of it. I've almost finished it. I got sidetracked with so much other stuff, but I'm almost finished it. And Metroid Samus, it's a brilliant game. It kind of makes you feel like the original Super Metroid style games. And okay, we'll go with Metroid 2, Super Metroid. You get my point. Best VR AR games. There's 5 of them in here. Super Hot VR, Star Trek Bridge Crew, Lone Echo / Echo Chamber, Farpoint, and Resident Evil 7. So we've got Superhot in VR. If you're not familiar with what Superhot is, go watch a YouTube video for 5 minutes. You've seen about half of the game. Don't get me wrong. Superhot looks decent. It started as an indie game, which was eventually brought over to VR. Star Trek Bridge Crew isn't really a proper game, and well, it's instantly off the list. Lone Echo / Echo Arena, it's the first kind of attempt to bring in a competitive sport multiplayer game into the VR space. I appreciate what they're trying to do with it, and they're trying to expand the horizons. That's one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of VR and AR in general, because it's expanding what we think of as games and what we think of VR tech beyond its norms, that's why I'm a big fan of VR in a sense. But I don't think it's going to win best VR or best AR game. Farpoint is supposedly a piece of shit. It's specifically developed as a VR game and is a piece of shit because of it, and it apparently is dirt in almost every single way, and it's limited to the worst of the 3 VR headset platforms, the PlayStation VR. It's been panned, so no. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, I think this game should win it. Obviously I don't have a VR headset yet. I've been meaning to buy one for years at this point, but well, what feels like years. But at this point, I think Resident Evil 7 should win this, for the simple reason is it is a full-on AAA game that is not compromised for, as far as I know at least anyway, for VR. Superhot VR is a small indie game ported over to VR. Star Trek Bridge Crew is a sitting in a seat simulator. Lone Echo is very, I won't even say niche. Farpoint is just panned in every single way. Resident Evil 7 is a proper full-sized AAA experience. And in 2 months now, when we hit January 2018, PC users will be able to play Resident Evil 7 on proper quality VR headsets when the 1-year paid timed exclusivity that Sony had is up. So the fact that it is a full dedicated AAA game with full uncompromised VR support, Resident Evil 7 should win this hands down. It's also a pretty good game. Best action games. There's only 5 of them in this one. For the best game in the action genre focused on combat, Prey, Neo, Destiny 2, Cuphead, Wolfenstein 2. Prey was a joke, it flopped, apparently it's not very good. Neo I hear is good, but only from one specific crowd of people. Well, actually 2 specific crowds of people. One of them are the Sony fanboys, despite it coming to PC as well. And the Dark Souls fans, which are the Dark Souls fanboys, I should say, not just the Dark Souls fans, because the Dark Souls fanboys are some of the worst fanboys ever, and they're very vocal and rabid about shit like this. So yeah, whatever. Destiny 2, it's Destiny 2. Cuphead's good. I played it. I really enjoyed it. Wolfenstein 2, no. So what do I think will win this? Destiny 2. What would I like to see win this? Cuphead. I'd say it's like a 90% chance Destiny 2 will win this, 10% chance Cuphead will win this, and I would be surprised if any of the other 3 won this. Best action adventure game. There's 5 of them in here. For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. I kind of thought that would be... See, this is... When you look at the games on this list, I assumed Uncharted would be a pretty linear third-person shooter versus Assassin's Creed Origins, which is obviously a bit more sizable and open world. Breath of the Wild, it's Skyrim with a Zelda skin. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it gives the size and scope of it. Super Mario Odyssey has multiple different explorable worlds in it. And Horizon Zero Dawn. Again, I hear it's pretty explorable from that side of it too. I think Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey have the best chance of winning this. I think Breath of the Wild has a better chance of winning it than Mario Odyssey if you're focusing specifically on combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Because all of those, Zelda has combat out the arse, it's got traversal out the arse, and it's got 120 shrines and God knows what else in there too. So you can see on that. Super Mario Odyssey is a bit more basic in some of those sides of it, from like the combat and the puzzle solving, but yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Super Mario Odyssey has some decent hidden stuff, like a lot of the, like I'm at 500 and something moons at the moment, and a lot of them are yeah, they're like can be a bit well, not a lot of them, but some of the post game ones can be fairly confusing and fairly niche. So I think Zelda will win this one, at least anyway. Best role-playing game for the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. So it's also including MMOs. So we have South Park: The Fractured But Whole, Final Fantasy 15. Although that game released last year worldwide. I suppose they came out between the awards, so I guess it makes sense. It came out after the previous award, the previous VGAs, and it's before these ones, so it makes sense. Final Fantasy 15, Divinity 2, or Divinity Original Sin 2, Nier Automata, Not Automata, and Persona 5. This one is hands down for me. If Persona 5 doesn't win this, it's an absolute farce. Absolute farce. Final Fantasy 15 and Persona 5 will be the two big ones that are going to be considered for this, I think. I mean, South Park is South Park. If you played the old one, you played this one. Apparently, it's basically the same thing. Final Fantasy 15 is the... what's the word I'm looking for? It's like the Destiny 2 of role-playing games. It's the Skyrim of role-playing games. Not in the best sense, but in the sense that it's the widest reaching, furthest reaching, and it's the one everyone knows and everyone would be potentially checking out. Because if someone comes in and thinks, hang on, I want to play a role-playing game, I don't know much about them, I'm going to buy a Final Fantasy game. That's your average consumer, your average casual, which these people are for. Maybe people only play one brand of role-playing games. 99% of the time, that's Final Fantasy. I hear Divinity is pretty good, though. I will say that. Never considered Nier a role-playing game, but I thought it was more of a hack and slash. And Persona 5. Persona 5 should win this list straight out. That's it. It's Persona 5. Especially because I basically hate Final Fantasy 15 at this point. Best fighting game. Oh, this one is going to be a fucking shit show and a half. For the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat, Tekken 7, Nidhogg 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Injustice 2, and ARMS. I literally have no idea how this one can go. It wouldn't surprise me if ARMS won, because Tekken 7, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and Injustice 2 are all... Feel free to get mad at me for saying this, but they're all basically the same game, basically the same thing. Granted, MVC Infinite has been fucking panned to shit, and Nidhogg 2, while it's supposedly an okay game, it's still just an indie game version of it. And many people will flock to the Nintendo side of it than generic fighter with characters from DC Universe, generic fighters from Tekken, generic fighters from Marvel vs. Capcom. So I think ARMS will win this one, especially because MVC Infinite has been panned, and Injustice 2 didn't do really well. Tekken 7 did decently, but I think ARMS will be the focus for that one. Best family game. For the best game appropriate for family play irrespective of genre or platform. This is interesting, actually. Splatoon 2, Sonic Mania, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Super Mario Odyssey. I think... Well, first off, this list in general is pretty good for the reason they're giving it. They're giving it the best family game. So it's for best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre and platform. So Splatoon 2... It's a colourful game. It seems like something that parents and kids could play together. I can completely agree with that. Sonic Mania, to an extent, it's a Sonic game released in 2017 that people who are parents now will be familiar with because it looks like a Sonic game they grew up with. I'm 31 years old. If I had a kid right now, like many other irresponsible people my age do, they would know, oh hey, that looks like Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and Knuckles when I grew up. And then they can sit down. It's bright, it's colourful, they can play it with their son or daughter and say, hey look, this is what Sonic games looked like when I was playing. Not this Sonic 06 shit that you have nowadays. Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, it's basically a kiddie version of XCOM. Someone specifically is going to hear that comment, and if you do, I'm curious to see what you're going to say about that. But I can kind of understand it. Rabbids are very childish. Mario in general is very... I won't say childish, but it's very appealing to younger audiences. He's a very happy-go-lucky character, very colourful, bright and vibrant, and his mannerisms and stuff. And the fact that they've removed it to the sense that it's like I'm shooting you with a blaster instead of I'm gutting him down like it's XCOM, you know. So it is kind of kid focused, and it's the kind of thing that a kid might not understand straight away, so a parent could maybe help them through with some of it. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's Mario Kart. One more needs to be said. And Super Mario Odyssey, what more needs to be said? It's like the epitome, not epitome, the epitome of like kiddie cartoonish games. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's the same way that I said in the same level that you would say that, say, Pixar would be the epitome of kiddie films, kiddie designed films. You get my point. Overall, I think Mario Kart 8 or Super Mario Odyssey will win this. Splatoon 2 might have a shot, but I think one of the other two will win it. Best strategy game. Well, let me see. Oh, wow. We are only about halfway through. This video I talk too much. Best strategy game. Best game focused on real-time or turn-based strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. Is that even out yet? Did that release? I can't remember. I know it got delayed at some point, I think. Tooth and Tail, Total War Warhammer 2, Halo Wars 2, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I think Total War Warhammer 2 will win this straight out. Creative Assembly have a fantastic history. They make fantastic games. They really just focus on that, and they do it better than pretty much anyone. XCOM games are good. I hear Mario & Rabbids it might get a little bit more consideration because it's Mario, and we all know, I mean, the Nintendo Switch diehard fanboy camp are very weird. Halo Wars is apparently a decent game. Like I said, Creative Assembly did work with 343 Industries on it, and Creative Assembly are very good at what they do. But to be honest, I still haven't played Halo Wars 2. I bought it on day one. I still haven't even played it. I haven't installed, but I haven't even played it. So what was I going to say? Shit, I forgot. Yeah, I hear it's more diverse and better in that sense than Halo 1, or Halo Wars 1, but when you compare it to something dedicated on PC to Creative Assembly, it's kind of a no-brainer. And I don't even know what Tooth and Tail is. It looks like an indie game. So best sports/racing game, this one has 6. For the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing games, Project Cars 2, Pro Evolution Soccer 2018, NBA 2K18, GT Sport, Forza Motorsport 7, and FIFA 18. Now, this is a very, very interesting one for the simple reason is I've said it multiple times now. The VGA Awards are a paid marketing deal, and it is just completely designed at 99% of the casual user. The kind of people who would buy these games every year or whenever they come out. So, I don't think Project Cars 2 will win it. I don't think Pro Evolution Soccer will win it. I don't think NBA 2K18 will win it, although the Nintendo fanboys will defend that one to the death. You can almost guarantee that almost every vote in the NBA 2K18 one is a Nintendo Switch user. GT Sport, I don't think will win it. I think it's going to be a showdown, maybe a 50-50, maybe even a 60-40 in Forza's favor between Forza Motorsport 7 and FIFA 18. I hear Forza Motorsport 7 is great. I don't like racing games myself, but I hear it's fantastic in the sense of the quality of the game. I hear it's one of the best, if not the best one out there at the moment. And FIFA 18, because FIFA is just such a casual game with such a huge user base and market, it has the potential to reach not many people. So I think it's maybe 50-50, maybe 60-40 between Forza in their favor against FIFA. Best multiplayer for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective. Why do I keep saying irrespective? Irrespective of game genre. So, Fortnite, Call of Duty World War II, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Destiny 2, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is going to win this one hands down because of it. They say best multiplayer, and games that have I was going to say shrank up, shown up, popped up out of nowhere, and gone to some of the biggest games of all time. Hell, it's even the biggest. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is now the biggest game on, I think it's Steam or Twitch maybe, with concurrent users all at once, I think, than any other game in history. So I think PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is going to win this. Despite Call of Duty World War II and Destiny 2 being what they are in the general casual public consumer, I think PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is going to win this. Most anticipated game. Actually need a drink. Been talking for way too long. Most anticipated game. Awarded to an upcoming game that has shown significant ambition and promise. Title must be announced and scheduled for release after December 7th, 2017. Why am I even reading this? It's already... Oh, actually, the reason why I was saying that is I looked at the first game, The Last of Us Part 2, and then I started reading the games from the right, and I seen God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and then I stopped. I'm thinking, like, why am I even bothering? And then I noticed Red Dead Redemption 2. So, I don't know. This one is 50-50. No, this one is 51-49 in Red Dead Redemption 2's favor. Now, personally, I'm more excited for The Last of Us Part 2. I don't care about Red Dead Redemption, so that doesn't bother me. But myself and many people are looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2. It's going to be great. I can't wait for it. But when Rockstar swings their dick, the world gets hit in the face with it. GTA 5, people. Red Dead Redemption 1. GTA 4. To an extent, LA Noire. They put their name all over it. Despite it being a Team Bondi game, they put their name and their marketing all over it. So, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 might win this, because this is designed for casual viewers, casual audiences, casual people to vote on. A lot of hardcore gamers will vote on The Last of Us. A lot of hardcore gamers will vote on Red Dead Redemption 2. But I think Red Dead Redemption 2 has a slight chance because of hitting 2 and probably eventually 3 whenever it comes to PC platforms. And just the sheer, I can't even say sales dynamo, the sheer numbers that Rockstar games do. Best independent game for an outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Pyre, Night in the Woods, Cuphead, What Remains of Edith Finch, and Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Yeah, there's only 5 games. I think Cuphead will win this, with Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice having a legitimate shot at winning it too. I would say maybe 60-40 Cuphead, and obviously 40 being Hellblade. I don't think any of the other 3 games come close. Best student game, awarded the best student project created at the high school or college level. Wow. So we've got From Light, Meaning, Level Squared, Impulsion, Falling Sky, and Hollowed. Now, I don't know any of these games. Based on what I see here, from the looks of all of this, which is absolutely nothing, I think Impulsion or Fallen Sky have possibly the best chance of doing this. Impulsion looks like it could actually be something, whereas the others all look like, Meaning looks like Flow or whatever that game is. From Light looks like a standard, I don't know, not Recore, what's that other game? Limbo or something like that. I don't want to say Limbo, that's the Light and Darkness one. It looks like one of the generic side-scrolling games. Now don't get me wrong, these are all games made by people exponentially more talented than myself, so I'm not going to knock any of them in that aspect, because they've done what I would probably never be able to do. But when it comes down to it, it looks like Impulsion or Fallen Sky, because Impulsion looks like it could be something real, something big. Not big, but it looks like it could be something big for this category, the best student game. And Falling Sky looks like it could be a narrative-heavy kind of deal, which is a very popular thing these days, and people will vote for that. Trending Gamer. I have no idea who any of these people are. In fact, the only person I know on this list is Dr. Disrespect, and the only reason I know him is because a friend of mine brought him up to me about a week ago, and that's it. A friend of mine apparently watches him, so I'm not even going to comment on that one. I don't know anyone. Best esports game, I'm very quickly going to touch on this because I don't believe in esports. Rocket League, League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and Overwatch. I think League of Legends. I'm surprised PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds isn't in here. Then again, I think that's not a team-based game, isn't it? So, I suppose. Best esports player presented by... I'm skipping that one. I don't know any of these people. I don't know team names and I don't know people. And here's best esport teams. I don't know team names and I don't know people. Best debut indie game presented by paid advertisements. Look at these. Look, prevented by HP, paid advertisement. So you see my point. So let's go back down now. Best debut indie game: Slime Rancher, Mr. Shifty, Hollow Knight, Golf Story, and Cuphead. Cuphead is going to win that one, hands down. Best Chinese game: I literally have no idea. I don't speak Chinese, and I don't play Chinese mobile games. I can't even see a picture of what Icy looks like. So I'm going on picture alone here. I don't even know. I would probably pick JX3 HD because it looks the most impressive from these screenshots. But mobile games are generally stuff like clickers, touchers, pressers, whatever you want to call them, or gimmick games like, say, Candy Crush and all that, or card games or whatever. And Gumballs looks like it would be something along those lines. King of Glory looks like it would be trying to be one of those too. I don't know, 50-50 between Gumballs and King of Glory. I have no idea whatsoever. And JX3 HD is my personal choice based literally off this picture, and that's it. So whatever, that's it. Let me know in the comment section below, because this video has gone on way too fucking long. I thought this video would take me like 10 minutes, if even. So let me know in the comment section below what you think of anything I said in this video. Any game in whatever list. Is there a category that you wish that you think, oh, some other game, this game isn't in there but it should have been? And what games do you think should win each individual category that you care about? I'm not going to ask what ones you think should win every category, because you might be posting out extra stuff that you don't want. Just the ones you care about. Let me know all of that good stuff in the comment section below, as well as your opinions and thoughts on the VGAs in general. Let me know all that good stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.